Welcome to What People Miss. This podcast is your sacred space to experience your softness, your pleasure, your joy. You deserve a sacred home to practice pause and self nurturing as a radical act, and to remember that you are allowed to choose joy and pleasure even in seasons of rage, transition, and grief. Listen for what you've been missing and the feelings and emotions you're dismissing. Get ready to reclaim your joy and savor your life. I have been enjoying some marvelous conversations, which so far you've heard part of the Erotic Power series with Logina Mustafa. And I have some more surprising conversations coming up. I wanted to take this opportunity to address how you're integrating the information that I'm sharing. Are you hearing what you've been missing? Are you experiencing, are you hearing yourself, right, in our stories? I love that Logina is where I was when I got married. She's 29, and I'm now here at 54 with my 6 children, most of them adults, post divorce, and really fully understanding my body, my desires, my requirements, setting new criteria, setting new standards. And it's something that you can do at any age. It's something that you can begin in your marriage. And it's something I began in my marriage, and that resulted in it ending. And that is a risk that you get to take. It's a chance for you to liberate yourself and really experience all that we're here to experience, right? As you're hearing in our conversation, um, so many times I've been interviewed and people ask me, how do you just talk about sex like, normal? Because it is normal. Just like you breathe, just like you eat, you have sex. You do, right? It's all the um, convolution of morality mixed in there. And like I said in one of the episodes, what is morality? Whose morals? According to what? The main thing is, in order to cultivate loving kindness within, your morals have to be surrounded by loving kindness. And when you cultivate that, it doesn't leave room for shame. It doesn't leave room for guilt. It doesn't leave room for fear. But it leaves a gateway open for understanding and expressing and experiencing your rage, your sacred rage, right? And that rage is a fire that is within you. It's the volcano between the worlds, right? So I believe that our genitalia are the ultimate vibration and connection, not just to each other, but to our deeper spiritual self. We have been taught in the Abrahamic faiths, right, as a Muslim, that um, those two things are mutually exclusive. Like sexuality, morality can't live in the same place. Sex only has a very small function, and that is for procreation. We literally are living in a sexual world. When I drive to work, I see birds flying that are obviously mating, right? The trees, the pollen that we experience during seasonal allergies, right? What do you think the purpose of the pollen is? It's literally sex goo all over the place. If you really understand the way nature works and, biology works, we live in a very sexual world. And it's a very spiritual thing. And if you allow yourself the stillness to observe what is happening, and you allow and you connect yourself with all that is, then you will see that humans don't have a monopoly on erotic power. It is literally what churns the core of this earth. And I'm intentionally pausing for you to think about that for a minute. What are we actually doing by denying ourselves our sexuality? We are distancing ourselves from all that is, from spirituality, from nature, from food, right? We now have circumvented the process of waiting for our meat. Now we have lab created meat. We have, sexual toys, which can be a nice addition to actual intercourse. However, sometimes we do it instead of connecting with another human. And then it becomes isolating. And then it feels different. It may feel shameful. It may feel like a guilty pleasure. And it's not meant to be that way at all. So, as you are listening to this series and as you're listening to my episodes on what people miss, I want you to be thinking about this. What are you missing? Look around your life. Where could you allow yourself a little bit more vulnerability? How could you um, not shame yourself? How could you slow down when you're connecting with someone that you're sexually attracted to? And what level of maturity is required from you and the other person to create that discipline and beautiful experience that and beautiful energy exchange that you want to have, right? Part of the morality is made sex into a wham bam thank you, or even just a wham bam, right? No thank you. We have we have all these confused ideas of what it is and what it isn't, which is why we have a rape academy that 65 million American men are part of, who may be doing horrible things to their wives. But why? Why is that happening? Because they mistrust their bodies, they misunderstand themselves, and they're unwilling to be vulnerable. What if, instead of drugging their wives, they could just say, hey, honey, there's some experiences that I would like to have. And, and then that's an opportunity for vulnerability and deep connection with your spouse. It's not that, it's within the sanctity and the sacredness of marriage. You can do whatever you want if it's consensual, right? If you both agree, if you both slow down and take the time to create those experiences for yourself. You don't have to take it. You don't have to um, take away someone else's opportunity for pleasure. It can be reciprocal, especially if you're married. If you're not married, you can still do whatever you want as long as you make sure that your needs are met, your requirements are met, you understand how to create your standards, and you know what your criterias are. And I feel like this is something that isn't talked about. People don't understand sex as a ritual. And sex as a ritual doesn't mean you have to be married. It just means that you have to communicate. You have to be open to vulnerability. You have to be open to spiritual connection. And you have to know your body well, know your sexual cycles, understand your needs, wants, desires. And so part of my work is to encourage and to normalize great sex because it's just like eating great food. It's good for your body, right? It's a form of nutrition. So, to that end, I am creating a 21-day reset, which is both erotic and somatic, because I've experienced both as forms of healing, and integrating the two is it just exponentially elevates that healing process and what people call co-regulation and nervous system regulation. It's really not about regulation. It's really about uh, just being with, right? What would it be like if you were with everything instead of resisting everything? Resistance is the culprit of everything that tears down the body. And so I invite you to listen to your body, to listen to this series and to the conversations I have on what people miss, and consider as a possibility you need a 21-day erotic and somatic reset. I'm so curious what comes up for you as you are hearing me speak. What are you missing? What do you know that you're missing and you need and you require? So, thank you for listening to What People Miss. What did you learn today? How will you choose differently? And if this episode opened your mind, share it with another mind, share it with another heart, and go to my website, cordeliagaffar.com, and let's connect. Most of all, what I want for you is to choose joy and pleasure so that you savor your life. Until next week, enjoy.